There was a time in America when the family car made absolutely no apology for its size, no apology for its weight, no apology for the amount of road it consumed. In the 1970s, the station wagon wasn't just a vehicle, it was a declaration, a rolling statement that said, "We have a family, we have places to be, and we are going to get there in the most commanding way possible." Detroit understood this assignment perfectly. The automakers of that era built family wagons that were enormous, beautifully proportioned, and loaded with presents. These weren't boring grocery getters, these were highway machines, true giants of American roads. And today, we are going to walk through the finest examples the decade had to offer. So buckle up, because this is the golden age of the American station wagon. 1971 to 1976 Buick Estate Wagon. If you had to point to a single car that captures everything the 1970s station wagon stood for, this would be a very strong candidate. Buick occupied a fascinating space within General Motors during this era. It wasn't as bold and sporty as Pontiac. It wasn't as exclusive as Cadillac. But what it offered was something that a very large group of American buyers truly valued: a refined balance of prestige, genuine comfort, and serious road presence. And the estate wagon was the purest expression of that balance. From the outside, this car commanded attention without shouting for it. The body was vast and long and planted, with proportions that communicated authority the moment it rolled into view. But the detail that truly made it iconic was the wood grain paneling along the sides. That simulated wood trim became one of the defining visual signatures of the luxury wagon in the 1970s. And on the Buick estate, it was integrated with an elegance that felt genuinely intentional. Glossy paint, sweeping chrome, and those warm wood tones came together in a way that looked expensive because it was. Beneath the hood sat Buick's legendary 455 cubic inch V8, an engine famous for its massive torque output. This was not a performance car in the traditional sense. It was never trying to win a drag race. What it did was move well over 2 tons of automobile down the highway with total, unhurried confidence. And that was exactly the point. Today, a well-preserved Buick Estate Wagon from this generation typically sells in the range of $20,000 to $45,000. A worthy price for one of the most iconic family cars America ever produced. The 1971 to 1976 Chevrolet Caprice Estate Wagon. The Caprice name in the 1970s meant something very specific to American buyers. It meant the top of the Chevrolet lineup, the biggest, the most comfortable, the most refined interpretation of the brand's vision. And in estate wagon form, that vision was taken to its absolute limit. Looking at it from the outside, the Caprice Estate was everything you expected, and then some. Long, wide, and built with very clean and deliberate lines that made the car feel solid and authoritative. This was the kind of vehicle that filled an entire lane and made no attempt to hide it. The real story, though, lived under the hood. Depending on the year and configuration, the Caprice Estate could be ordered with Chevrolet's 400 cubic inch V8, or for those who wanted serious muscle, the massive 454 big block. That engine produced torque figures that made moving this enormous wagon feel almost effortless. It was power designed for the long haul, miles of open highway, a full family on board, luggage packed to the ceiling. The Caprice ate all of that without complaint. It also remains one of the most accessible wagons for collectors today. Well-preserved examples typically range between $18,000 and $40,000, making it one of the more attainable icons on this list. 1970 to 1972 Oldsmobile Custom Cruiser. Now here is a wagon that often gets overshadowed by its General Motors siblings, but absolutely deserves its moment in the spotlight. Oldsmobile in the early 1970s built cars with a specific kind of character. They weren't trying to be aggressive. They weren't trying to be flashy. They were refined, controlled, and quietly impressive. The custom cruiser carried that philosophy into the wagon segment with real conviction. Visually, this car had a cleaner, more sophisticated look than many of its direct competitors. The body was long and proportionally balanced in a way that read more as elegant than simply large. It had a composed quality that set it apart. Under the hood, Oldsmobile offered two serious choices: the well-regarded 350 cubic inch V8 for buyers who wanted efficiency alongside performance, and the thunderous 455 V8 for those who wanted to move this enormous wagon with absolute ease in any situation. That larger engine gave the custom cruiser a genuinely impressive ability to cover ground, loaded or empty, without ever feeling strained. Well-preserved examples today typically land between $18,000 and $35,000. 1976 to 1978 Ford Ltd. Country Squire. Few names in American automotive history carry quite the same weight as this one. Ford had been building the Country Squire since the late 1940s, and by the mid-1970s it had evolved into something deeply iconic. Not just a wagon, a cultural touchstone. The car that generations of American families packed for summer road trips, loaded with kids and coolers, and a sense of adventure. The visual identity was unmistakable: an enormous square body with sweeping proportions designed to maximize every cubic inch of interior space. And of course, the wood grain paneling. On the Country Squire, it covered nearly the entire central section of the body. That combination of paint, chrome, and simulated wood wasn't subtle. It was a celebration of what this car was and what it stood for. Power options were equally serious. The Country Squire could be ordered with the 400 cubic inch V8, the 429 V8, or the massive 460 V8, one of the largest engines Ford produced during this period. More than enough to keep that vast body moving with complete composure. Collectors today can typically expect to pay between $18,000 and $40,000 for a well-preserved example. 1976 Pontiac Grand Safari. When Pontiac built a station wagon, it did what Pontiac always did. It added personality. The Grand Safari wore Pontiac's wide signature grille up front and carried slightly more aggressive body lines than the other GM wagons of the same era. It still served the same purpose as any family wagon, but it communicated something a little different while doing it. There was an attitude here that was hard to ignore. The engine choices matched that attitude. The 400 cubic inch V8 was standard for serious driving, and the optional 455 V8 pushed that further. Pontiac also equipped the Grand Safari with the brand's famous clamshell tailgate, a system where the rear glass retracted up into the roof while the lower gate disappeared beneath the cargo floor. It was genuinely impressive engineering for its time, and it made loading that enormous cargo area remarkably simple. Well-preserved Grand Safaris typically trade today between $18,000 and $35,000. 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle Wagon. This one demands your attention, because the Chevelle wagon is perhaps the most surprising entry on this entire list. When people hear the word Chevelle, they picture the SS 454, one of the most feared muscle cars of the American Golden Age. What they do not picture is a station wagon. And yet, Chevrolet built exactly that, and it was remarkable. The Chevelle wagon retained the strong, well-proportioned body of its coupe sibling. The front end was wide and aggressive. The stance was low and confident. It looked nothing like a typical family hauler, and depending on how you optioned it, it didn't perform like one either. The 350 V8 was the standard choice. The 396 big block stepped things up considerably, and in certain configurations, the 454 V8 made an appearance. A muscle car engine inside a family wagon. That combination created something that enthusiasts now refer to as a muscle wagon, and it has become one of the most sought-after wagon variants of the entire era. Prices today reflect that desirability. Well-preserved examples range from $25,000 to $50,000, and versions with the larger engines can climb well beyond that. 1973 to 1978, Mercury Colony Park. Mercury sat between Ford and Lincoln in the brand hierarchy, and the Colony Park embodied that position with genuine grace. This wagon looked expensive from every angle. Long, well-proportioned, and finished with a level of detail that separated it from standard Ford offerings. The wood grain paneling was present here too, but applied with a refinement that leaned toward luxury rather than simply style. Power options included the 400 V8, the 429 V8, and the 460 V8. None of these engines were chosen for drama. They were chosen because moving this much car, smoothly and silently, required serious torque. And the Colony Park delivered that experience with consistency. Prices today typically range between $18,000 and $40,000. 1976 to 1977, Chrysler Town and Country. And finally, we arrive at the most prestigious nameplate on this entire list. The Town and Country name had represented Chrysler's finest family automobiles for decades, and in the mid-1970s, that tradition remained completely intact. The body was enormous. The proportions were stately. Everything about this car communicated that it was built for long-distance travel in serious comfort, not performance. Comfort, confidence, the quiet ability to cover incredible distances without effort or complaint. Chrysler backed that promise with equally serious engines. The 400 V8 was capable. The 440 cubic inch engine was something else entirely. One of the most respected power plants in Chrysler's history. Abundant torque, smooth delivery, and the ability to move this massive wagon as if it weighed nothing at all. Well-preserved examples today typically range between $20,000 and $45,000. Looking back at all of these machines, one thing becomes undeniably clear. The station wagons of the 1970s weren't just family cars, they were monuments. Automobiles built to carry entire families across vast American distances, in comfort and in style, with a presence that simply no longer exists in the modern automotive world. These were the highway giants. And they were magnificent. Now I want to hear from you. Of all the wagons we explored today, which one do you believe is the greatest American station wagon of the 1970s? Leave your answer in the comments below. And if you love the history of these incredible machines, stay tuned because there is plenty more where this came from.